What's up, folks? Um, so this morning I want to have a little dialogue with you. Maybe this will upset you. Maybe this will, I don't know, encourage you to do something. But let's have a little dialogue relating to Netflix and the movie Cuties. First, it was Netflix and chill, right? And now it's Netflix and chills. I'm not yet a parent, so I have to make this clear. So I'm not speaking from a parent point of view, but I feel for parents. And if you're a parent right now, today, you should be outraged. If you seen this, even the clip of the movie, of the recent controversial movie that Netflix has out, named Cutie, like it should send chills down your spine. I don't have children, again, and I couldn't stomach too much of the clip because it was just too much sexual behavior being displayed on that movie. And under no circumstances, I know people are gonna make some form of excuse as to why this movie is or whatnot. Under no circumstances should children be making these plays. Period. Because their brain is not yet formatted to the point of understanding this is just a play. No, this is turning them into tomorrow's thought. Okay, so there's a huge decline in our society, and that if you don't see it, then I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. That says a lot about you than it says about the society in itself, right? I remember there's a I can't remember who says that our country, our world is being controlled by evil men because people like me, people like you watching this video fail to do something about it because we're not taking part in what happened and saying how we feel because we are afraid or we fear that our next door neighbor might not like the way we feel because their ideas might be a bit different from ours. And I urge you to take a stand and stand firm on it because your life and the next generation depends on it. Okay? When you give, I never understood one thing. This is something I never understood. That we give young girls dolls to play with, buy them strollers, and pretty much, and we, most of the people who do it, they do it innocently, not knowing that they're training these girls to then have a baby and push a stroller when they turn 16. As soon as they hit puberty, they're gonna end up having kids. Because what happened if a junkie start to take a lot of drugs? Then they need more drugs. They need stronger drugs. The same thing could be said if you gave a young girl a doll to play with, a little doll which resemble which is a symbol of a real baby, and you give them a little stroller. They have a little dollhouse, and they have pretty much you're training them to become a young mother. And at some point in time, they outgrow the doll. And what do you think happened? They become bored in life and they need an actual baby. And this is why we have a lot of 16-year-old, 15-year-olds walking around with a little stroller, just like they were trained to do as a kid. See, they outgrow the doll and now they pick a stroller and have a real baby. But that's not the point here. Fact of the matter is that our world is ruled by evil and nefarious men and women, and that it is up to us, the individual, to take matters into our own hand and allow our children to have a tomorrow like we did. Because if we don't, I'm afraid where we going is going to be, I cannot even imagine. Sometimes I try to imagine where society is going to be in the next 10, 20 years. It gives me an instant migraine and I would stop, because it's gonna be so chaotic. It's not gonna be anything that we can fully even imagine. Okay, we literally teaching the next generation how to become prostitutes, men and women, okay, boys and girls. We teaching them how to become prostitute. And if you're a parent, you should be outraged, because they may say this movie is only for adults and to bring awareness. But I think there's a myriad of ways that you could find a way to bring this same awareness without using somewhat 6,000 children for audition. Okay? For this types of play. And like I said, if you watch a clip of it and you're able to watch the whole thing, maybe something is probably wrong with you too. Because you literally watching children doing what grown women do in the strip club. Okay? On the pole. That's what you're seeing. And I don't know how old these girls are, but they look too young to be exposed to such thing. And the way they were able to actually do it so well tell you that this is not something new. I'm glad actually to some degree that Netflix bring this to the forefront, because this is happening everywhere in our society. It's happening everywhere. And mothers across the board, fathers and families across this country and other countries, primarily in the West, are actually promoting this behavior. They subsidize this behavior by their acquiesce, by ways of not taking a stand and saying, no, you're young, you're too young to be doing this, or you're too young to be exposed to such thing. I mean, if you go on the internet, most times to get access to porn, to any sexual explicit content, all you need to say is press a button and say you're 18. No ID is needed, no age, no format, so no real denied would cause you to not have access to these things. So saying these movies or these explicit contents or made for grown folks does not exclude the fact that it will pique the curiosity of curious young children. I was a curious kid. Like, I wanted to know what grown-ups were up to, but I didn't grow up in a sexually demoralized society. In my generations, it was not so much so. And granted, my first 14 years was not in this country. It was not in the West. So I was not exposed to sexual, explicit things that society now trying its very best to normalize and for us to actually take it. So what I'm saying is, I guess this is a rant, because there is no format, there's no order to which what I'm saying. This is me just literally verbalizing my frustration with the way the world is going and the direction to which we are headed. It is on a down spiral decline, faster than a freaking airplane that is out of control, faster than a jet that has lost control. We're headed down and we're gonna crash. And then I don't know what this world will be then. And maybe we do need to clash, so a new civilization will emerge to which we can come back and get back to our senses, because we have lost it. We have lost it. We have lost it. And at least primarily in the Western society, we have lost our sense of morality. We have lost it. And it only comes to some degree when it's expedient to the individual, but every other time it's very normal and it's accepted, long as there is something in it for the individual. So I think we need, and all in all, I really don't want to keep rambling so much, because this really bugs me out, because I don't have children. Again, this is the third time I'm stating this. I'd love to actually have children in the future, but in the same breath, I kind of don't want my offspring to actually be a part of the next generations to be, because I just see the declining in the direction we're headed. I just don't want, I don't want to have a daughter that's gonna be forced to raise in a society that's gonna teach her in subconscious scientific ways how to become a prostitute. That's going to teach my son how to become a freaking criminal, or somewhat be a part of a decadent society. I just don't know. I just don't even care much to participate in this. But yet, if millions of people feel the way I feel, where does that leave our next generation? Does that leave it up to robot to take control? Does that leave it up to technology and to have their way? Or do we take a stand and protecting our civilization, protecting our sense of morality, protecting what actually give us this great civilization that we now have? And it's slipping away from us. It's slipping away from us. So I don't know what is next. Netflix. I don't have a Netflix account, but if you have one, the least you could do is cancel them. You know, the least you could do is cancel it, because Netflix is a huge mainstream outlet now, and they're exposing our children to these types of rhetoric. They should be ashamed of themselves. And if they're not going to be ashamed of themselves, because at the end of the day, we already know these huge companies and corporations, they only care about their money. And I'm not one to try to take money out of anybody's pocket, but our children are being targeted, and they're coming for yours, whether you believe it or not. Yeah, it was Netflix and chill to Netflix and chills, watching the Cutie documentary or movie as it is, whether it was made for an older audience or a younger audience, it does not matter. Fact of the matter is, children will have access to this. Children will see it, and the kids that had been exposed just for the trials alone should tell you all you need to know. And that, my friend, is all I wanted to rumble and rant about. I am appalled, and you should be too. So cheers.